The secret my family kept for 27 years. I never imagined my wedding day could be perfect and terrible all at once. The sun was shining and guests were laughing under paper lanterns. My father, Gene, held my hand tightly as we walked toward the altar, and I remember my heart beating steadily, confident this was supposed to be one of the happiest moments of my life. Aunt Jenny was next to me, smiling, but I noticed her eyes flicker toward my mother. My mother, usually the center of attention, sat unusually quiet with a glass of champagne. She waved as if everything was fine, but I could tell something was off. I didn't know it yet, but that small unease in my chest was the first warning of what was to come. The ceremony went smoothly. My new husband, Mark, squeezed my hand under the canopy. We exchanged vows and the world felt just right. At the reception, twinkling lights hung above and laughter bubbled around me as I hugged relatives I hadn't seen in years. My dad started telling an embarrassing story from when I was little, and I rolled my eyes affectionately. As speeches began, my father stood and cleared his throat. Everyone grew quiet as he spoke. Mark waved at my mom, and I followed his gaze. She stood awkwardly, clutching a napkin. My stomach fluttered. She was hardly ever nervous. My father raised his glass to toast, smiling. "We are so happy to welcome Mark into the family," he said, and the guests applauded. Aunt Jenny's voice cut through the chatter. "Stop right there!" she shouted, loud and panicked. All eyes turned to her as she stood, face pale, clutching her own glass. My father looked shocked, and my stomach dropped. "Caroline, I think everyone deserves to hear the truth," Aunt Jenny said, voice shaking. My heart thudded. I looked at my mom. She stared at the ground. A cold silence fell. Then she blurted it out. "Caroline, your real father is not Gene. It's me." My world spun. Gasps echoed around us. My father's face turned white. I felt numb, isolated from the chaos around me. I turned to see my father teary-eyed, mouth opening and closing, but no sound. The man who had driven me to dance class and kissed me goodnight every night suddenly wasn't my father. My legs trembled, and I collapsed onto the bench. My mask of calm shattered. Aunt Jenny was crying too, covering her face. Mark knelt beside me, his face full of confusion. I'm sorry," he stammered. My mom ran to my side, tears staining her dress. She admitted the affair she'd hidden for decades. Aunt Jenny sobbed, and her husband confirmed the same bitter truth. Chaos swirled, cries, sobs, and frantic whispers around me as the reception came to a halt. I steadied myself, raised a hand, and said, "Stop," my voice cracking. Everyone fell silent. I looked at Mark. In that moment, all I felt was love. Then I said, "This is our day. He is my husband, and he loves me. Nothing will change that." We walked back to the empty chapel and sat in silence. Mark held my hand, and cold tears fell on my cheeks. Then I suddenly laughed, a hysterical, releasing laugh. I realized secrets ruin celebrations, but love finds a way. Even a terrible secret coming out at the worst possible moment can free us from a web of lies. On the day I became a wife, I learned that even when the ground falls away, love is the solid ground beneath me.